What's the word, YouTube? It's your boy, Coach TDOT. They subbed me out. But I'm back in that game, Coach. I'm back with some more heat for y'all, man. So check it out, chat. Today, we got a very special video, man. All right, today we're going to be reacting to Michael Jordan's greatest season, the story of MJ Krause and the 1998 Bulls, man. You feel me? Basically, the last dance. Man, that was a sad time, fool. But at least niggas got the chip. But damn, Mike still had a little bit more left in the tank. They should have let that team just keep rocking out, fool. We could have won like 8, 9, 10 in Chicago, G. Who knows? But for all my new viewers, I don't fake none of my reactions. All my reactions are live. And we gonna watch this shit together. You feel me? Man, let's get into this thing, y'all. Y'all already know how we coming, man. Without further ado, it's Mike. Let's get it going. Hey, make sure y'all smash that like button before we get into this thing. Let's do it.
Extremely hard to do. Winning 3 NBA championships in a row is extremely hard to do. Despite several teams attempting the feat, it hasn't been accomplished since Shaq and Kobe's Lakers did it in 2002. The Bulls did it twice in the 1990s, and before them, it hadn't been done since the Celtics in the 1960s. Even more difficult than a great team winning 3 straight championships is a team winning its 3rd straight title on a year where their second best player misses nearly half of the season, where all of their best players are in their mid-30s, and where their franchise is surrounded by drama, turmoil, and uncertainties about their future. This is the story about the greatest player of all time, on the greatest season of his career, playing in his final year on his dynastic franchise. This is the story of Michael Jordan and the 1998 Chicago Bulls. For us to understand the way it ended, we first have to understand how it started. In 1985, Jerry Krause was hired to be the vice president of basketball operations for the Chicago Bulls. This hiring was just 1 year after Michael Jordan had been drafted. 3 games into Jordan's second season in the league, he broke his foot, causing MJ to miss significant time. During those next several months, Jordan would visit several doctors and specialists to get treatment and opinions on his recovering foot. Despite all of the losing the Bulls were doing without Jordan, technically they were still in the playoff picture as it was approaching the end of the season. If you know anything about Michael Jordan, you know that he's the ultimate competitor. Michael desperately wanted to get back out on the court and help his team make the playoffs. Jerry Krause and Bulls management had other things in mind though. Not only did they want to preserve and protect the health of their superstar player, but the Bulls missing the playoffs meant that the Bulls would get a much better draft pick. Even if Michael could return to the floor and carry his Bulls to the playoffs, management knew that their roster was nowhere near strong enough to beat the stacked elite teams like the Celtics and Pistons. As you can see, this put them at a crossroads. Jordan wanted to compete at all costs, while Krause wanted to build for the future. Both parties had ulterior motives. After Jordan's first meeting with the doctors, Krause was informed of the doctors' information, but to him, it sounds like Michael and the team representatives are saying 2 different things. Because of this, Jerry Krause decided to show up to the next doctor's meeting with Jordan, but this time, Krause brought a tape recorder to record everything that was said by the doctors. This infuriated Jordan because it implied that Krause didn't believe Jordan and he was essentially calling Michael a liar. According to Jerry Krause, several doctors said there was an 80 to 90% chance that Jordan would re-injure himself if he played again that season. Fast forward to the next doctor's meeting, and now Michael Jordan brought a tape recorder. Jordan claimed that Krause was lying about the severity of the injury because he wanted the Bulls to miss the playoffs in order to get a better draft pick. Ultimately, like most situations, Jordan eventually got his way and returned to play that season. But the damage had already been done, and Krause and Jordan were anything but friends. 2 years later, the relationship grew even worse. Jordan's favorite teammate and best friend in the league was defensive power forward Charles Oakley.
Hey, that nigga look like Bronny James, folks. Hey, we saw this ain't Bronny Pops, folks. Hey, who is this nigga, folks? This Oakley, Charles Oakley? Hey, we gotta do some blood work on Bronny, G. This folks pop real pops right here, folks. Or this Bron dad or some, G. Some up.
Krause proceeded to trade Charles Oakley without even notifying Jordan. Krause claimed that he couldn't get a hold of Jordan since Michael was at a boxing match that night, but that did not alleviate Jordan's anger. Throughout the years, it just got worse and worse. Jordan, Pippen, and many of the players in the Bulls squad hated Jerry Krause, while Krause was constantly seeking more recognition for the success that the Bulls were having. Phil Jackson also began feuding with Jerry. Jackson wanted to be more involved in personnel decisions, but Krause felt it was unnecessary and refused to include Jackson. Let me take a second to let you know that I'm barely scratching the surface of the issues between Krause and the coaching staff and the players, but I don't want this video to be an hour long.
Hey, but do y'all think, like, now looking back, folks, looking back at how good those Bulls teams was in the 90s, can y'all blame Jerry Krause for not taking Phil Jackson intake on his input on who should be drafted to the team, who should get traded? Can y'all really blame the nigga, folks? Cause it looked like it turned out fantastic for me, folks. To me, that's what it looked like. It looked like Jerry Krause did a great job at building them teams. So Phil Jackson, your animosity, you can't really have no animosity towards him for not letting you be a part of picking the personnel and shit like that. At the time, I could see you being mad because you was probably uncertain about what type of players he was bringing in and if they would fit your system or not. But looking back, nigga, man, I think Jerry Krause did a hell of a job putting together them squads, folks. 6-0?
Jordan publicly said that he wanted the team's owner to fire Jerry Krause and put Phil Jackson in as general manager and as head coach. Krause publicly said he didn't care if the Bulls went 82-0. Phil Jackson was coaching his final season for the team. Basically, lots and lots of things built up to the Bulls' 1998 season, which would be their last run. Phil Jackson was over it and mutually decided with Jerry Krause this would be Phil's final year. And as a result, Jordan too would be playing in his final season because he didn't want to be part of a Bulls organization without Phil Jackson in it. This was the type of drama and the circus the Bulls were in heading into the 1998 NBA season. Upon the Bulls' first team meeting of the year, Phil Jackson gave out handbooks to all of his players that included the plays in the schedule, among other things. On each handbook read the title and theme of that season, The Last Dance. Throughout the year, the media had been speculating on whether or not this would be the Bulls' final run, but behind the scenes, it was basically a foregone conclusion. On top of all of the Jordan, Phil, and Krause drama, Pippen had his own drama with Bulls management as well. At times, he had been involved in trade talks in large part because of contract disputes, and as a way to stick it to upper management, Scottie decided to get his much-needed back surgery on company time. He could have got the surgery during the summer, but instead, he put it off and missed the first half of the regular season as he recovered from the surgery.
Wow.
Dennis Rodman, on the other hand, didn't have any unusual drama, but he would be 37 years old by season's end, and the wear and tear was beginning to show in his performance, especially during the playoffs. The 95-96 Bulls are likely the greatest team in NBA history, but by 1998, that juggernaut was pretty much a distant memory. With all the drama, aging players, and health issues, this was a team that really shouldn't have won the 1998 NBA championship. But this is exactly why I believe this was the greatest season of Jordan's career, and maybe the greatest season of any player in NBA history. Jordan obviously had to carry a greater load this season, and carry is exactly what he did. As a 35-year-old shooting guard, Jordan led the league in scoring, averaging nearly 30 a game while playing a massive 39 minutes per game, and he played in all 82 games.
Wow.
He was first team all-defense, meaning that he was the best defender at his position. He was first team all-NBA. He was the All-Star Game MVP. He was the regular season MVP. And he was the NBA Finals MVP while securing his 6th NBA championship.
Wow, bro. Hey, that's a goated ass resume right there. Just that season alone will get a nigga in the Hall of Fame, bro. Just that one season. Man, I'm shitty Jerry Krause ain't keep this team together. Like, did they... I don't think they ever said why he broke it up. Like, I think the Bulls was trying to rebuild, folks. But that shit did not work, G. It just didn't. If it wasn't for us landing the number 1 pick in 08 and getting Derrick Rose, G, we still would be a terrible franchise, folks, to this day. Like, D Rose kind of revived us back to life, you know, made us feel a little bit, you know, like we could get it going again, but then y'all blew that. Like, how many, man? And it all stems from this. From you quitting on Mike and them and not letting niggas go out how they wanted to, G. Like, after they done gave you 6 rings, you should have at least, like, you know. That's why Chicago fans don't like Jerry Krause, folks. Every time they mention that nigga at the UC, they be booing the shit out of him, man. And I wonder why. You stole greatness from us, folks. R.I.P. to you, but at the same time, you stole greatness from our city, man.
Scoring, Jordan averaged 28.7 points per game that season, which is astonishing when you consider that teams were only averaging 95.6 points per game that season. To put that in context, in last year's NBA season, teams were averaging 111.2 points per game. Jordan averaged nearly 30 a game as a 35-year-old when NBA scoring was much lower and much harder to come by. That was just the regular season scoring though. What Jordan did in the NBA playoffs was next level legendary. He dramatically increased his offensive output to 32.4 points per game while logging a brutal 41.5 minutes per game. By the time the NBA Finals rolled around, Rodman was no longer starting for Chicago, and Dennis averaged only 4 points and 8 rebounds in the finals. Pippen also averaged less than 16 points per game in that series, which meant that the load that Jordan was going to have to carry that series was of historic proportions. In the finals, Michael gave one of his greatest performances. He averaged a massive 33.5 points per game, while the entire Chicago team averaged 88 points per game that series. He made up over 38% of the team's offense. Kawhi Leonard was last year's Finals MVP, and he averaged 28 points per game that series. If Kawhi had handled as much of the scoring load percentage-wise as Jordan did for the Bulls in '98, Kawhi would have averaged over 42 points per game in the finals.
Wow.
Hopefully, this paints a clearer picture of just how legendary Jordan's last dance with the Bulls truly was. On their final NBA Finals game, Jordan scored 45 points. He had the game-winning steal and the game-winning shot.
Come here,
if
stupid.
Jordan was the GOAT by the time he had his 5th NBA championship, then the 1998 season was essentially the year that ended the discussion. After the '98 season, Phil Jackson left the Chicago Bulls, which in turn meant Jordan retired from the NBA. Determined to prove that he could rebuild the dynasty, Jerry Krause traded Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, and Steve Kerr, and Rodman left in free agency. As a result, the Bulls plummeted from a 62-win team to a squad with only 13 wins the following season.
What? Oh my gosh! What did he just say, G? Bro, I can't believe this. I can't believe what my ears just told me, G.
And Steve Kerr, and Rodman left in free agency. As a result, the Bulls plummeted from a 62-win team to a squad with only 13 wins the following season. Krause was never able to rebuild the Bulls to be anything close to a contender, and he ultimately retired as general manager in 2003.
So nigga, you I see why niggas be booing him now, bro. You broke the team up for no reason. Just to go into rebuild mode, and you never successfully rebuilt shit. Didn't even stay around 10 years after Mike and them left, G. So what was the purpose of you doing that, folks? It's like you just threw our organization down the drain. And we know the Bulls, like, they don't really like paying people like that, folks. So it's like, why wouldn't you just milk Mike and them dry? He should have just milked that shit to the end, bro. Mike and them probably should have still been on the Bulls playing until like 2001, 2002 season, G. But he cut it short for what, bro? Just for us to fucking go to from 62 wins to 13? Man, what type of shit is that? Y'all tell me, folks. Do that make any sense? I know in hindsight, 2020, like hindsight, yeah, nigga, it didn't make no sense. But at the time, still, what was you thinking, gang? You thought you was finna find another Michael Jordan in the draft or something, fuck? You out of your rabbit ass mind, Jerry. But like I said, RIP. If it wasn't for D Rose, G, Chicago, man, would still be sad. Sad, G. Terrible. We finally bouncing back now. Like, we done traded Zach away. You know, we finally getting back in our groove. Last night, we got a good win versus the Pistons to start the season off. I'm loving it. You feel me? We got to keep it going. But, G, this all could have been prevented. Well, I feel like if Jerry would have just did something different, G, I think he pulled the plug too early on that shit, man. All right. But look, y'all, that's the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's your boy, Coach TDOT. I'm up out of here. I love y'all.